Hello, I'm Tamika Stembridge, the Executive Director of the dfree Global Foundation. We are a national nonprofit that helps community organizations and individuals to figure out their journey to financial freedom. Our program is based on a book and a philosophy by our founder, Dr. DeForest B. Soaries Jr., who discovered and shared his own personal journey of getting into debt and getting out of it. And so we use that to encourage others to improve their financial well-being. And we've actually been using Funraise for a year now, fairly new. It was our first time doing online fundraising or digital fundraising, for lack of a better word, because our primary audience had been churches and we used to travel around the country and do all these big events. Any fundraising that we would do would be live in person, more like collecting an offering as opposed to doing intentional fundraising. But our leap to fundraise was fairly easy. It was very easy to set up. It was easy for us to get started. And I'm not a super techie person, but I was able to get our first set of pages and forms built out really quickly. The first time we used the platform was actually for we did a digital conference last July. And so we used the forms, but also like the ticketing feature within Funraise so that we were able to attach people's registration for the event to their donation. And so it was really kind of passive and easy. And for a group that had never asked for money before, at least in the digital space, people felt really comfortable giving to us and going through the process. And it was a great way for us to usher in our fundraising efforts by being able to use the ticketing feature. And it was like a soft thing. It wasn't like pay $15 for this ticket. It was, we invite you to consider donating as you register. And people responded. We actually hit our individual donor fundraising goal at that point last year. Literally by the end of August, we had hit our individual fundraising goal. And the platform was really helpful in us doing that. And at the end of the year, we tested out peer-to-peer fundraising and doing the actual fundraising pages. So we stayed basically within the forms for the most part of the year, but then we set up an actual page and started peer-to-peer. I actually did my own peer-to-peer campaign. I didn't raise a ton of money, but it was important for me, though I'm leading the organization, I'm always conscious of the user experience. And so it was really easy for a user to set up that kind of campaign. And so it's definitely something that we're going to be instituting as we go into our 2021 plan. But overall, I love Funraise. It was super easy. The reporting has been great. We're getting ready to send out our year-end reports and our year-end emails. Well, Funraise is getting ready to send it. There's nothing that we need to do. So I feel really, really good about it. And we look forward to continuing our partnership with Funraise.
So my name is Josh Gershman. I am the Director of Digital Marketing here at Back on My Feet. Back on My Feet as an organization has been around for 13 or 14 years, which is pretty young in the nonprofit space, especially in the kind of like the human services space. But we have a pretty unique mission and a unique model in how we help our members and how we build our community. For Funraise for us was a new donation platform in the spring of 2020. And 2020 is going to have a lot of asterisks on it as we look back on it in history. And there's no exception for our industry, for the nonprofit industry. The first thing that we did with Funraise is that we had to take all of our in-person galas that we had planned for 2020 and make them virtual galas. And what that meant, among other things, was a place to put all of those donations. So there was no longer going to be a ballroom full of people writing checks or swiping their credit cards on iPads. This was all of a sudden going to have to be a very different experience. And so it was the timing of when this needed to happen was also right for the timing when we needed to bring Funraise up to speed. And so we were able to get that up and running, and we were able to use Funraise for all of the virtual events that we had last year, which is really fantastic. The other things that I'm excited about that we've only like dipped our toes into last year with Funraise is on the recurring and monthly donor side. That's the biggest thing. That's my biggest priority for 2021 and beyond in terms of what we'll utilize Funraise for is securing and managing our monthly and other recurring donors. We launched a brand new program this year that is aimed specifically at monthly donors, or it's specifically at recurring donors. So you can either donate monthly or annually, and that secures your membership into this new program that we just launched. What I like about this the most is that ease of use on customer service. One of the things our organization doesn't have is any kind of customer service facilitation. And so when someone needs to update their credit card or cancel their donation, they have to get in touch with me, the director of digital marketing. So like, it's not, we need some people and processes in the middle there. And we don't have that yet. But what we do have is a platform that allows us to do that easily. The options that Funraise gives us is also really helpful. We took a little bit of the long way in this recurring donor program, where we have a form that's specific to monthly donors and a separate form that's specific to annual donors, so that if you're signing up for one, you don't accidentally sign up for the other. So that was important for us in terms of like keeping things straight. The thing that has stood out to me the most is the ease of use of the integration with Google Analytics e-commerce tracking. That's something that, in my experience, other platform providers take for granted, and that it's not thought out as much as it needs to be. There are two ways in which you can track like event donation data in Google Analytics. There's the short way and then the better way. And so Funraise does both, but most platforms only do the short way. Everything that we do online gets tracked into Salesforce. So I can go into Salesforce at any time and pull a report based on what data I need. But I am much more often will go into Google Analytics to look at things on a hourly pseudo real-time basis, because that's the data I need. So like, what kind of traffic are we getting that's coming to the site? What traffic is generating donations, and where those donations are coming from? And so because we can configure this all in Funraise exactly how I need, I can go into both places depending on what data I need. And so that's not so much a feature as like just a requirement for me on any kind of fundraising platform we're going to be using.